Great. I think everybody's just starting to come into the main room now from the waiting room. So thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully you will be able to start seeing the screen that I'm sharing now. And can I just remind everybody to please keep yourself on mute during this session, just because I'll get very distracted if there are any dogs, cats, goldfish, babies in the background. So please do try and keep yourself on mute. That would be brilliant. So as we're waiting for everybody to just filter through, please do make sure you're following us on social media. It's where you can find out all of the latest information about our partners, such as Asda. You'll find out lots of information about upcoming events that you can get involved with. So definitely one to follow. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So it's completely up to you which one you want to follow us on. We'll also be recording this session and putting it onto our YouTube channel a little bit later on in the week, and we will definitely be sending that to you as well as you've registered for the event. So a good one to watch. Fantastic. Okay, so if you aren't already part of the network, we would absolutely love you to be an official member of the Enactus UK network. So please do register at enactusuk.org/join. The reason why we're asking you to do that is because this is the only way that you will gain access to events like these in the future, getting opportunities to connect with over 230 of our business coaches from our 17 partner organisations, just like Asda. So really helping you with your professional and personal development, but also you'll be able to connect with your Enactus UK university team and really get stuck into those projects. So if you've been to one of our sessions already this week, this will become very familiar with you. But for those of you who haven't, Enactus UK is a little bit different from other societies because it doesn't always say what it does on the tin. So Enactus is the UK's leading combined youth social action and youth social enterprise charity, which works to develop thousands of young entrepreneurial spirits every year. But what that means in practice is we really aim to be the bridge between the world of work and higher education. So we work to provide students with skills that you're not always taught within their university degree. So really, really important skills that we're helping you to develop through working on student-led projects with your university Enactus team to benefit your local communities. And it's through these projects that you embark on with your team members that address one of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. It really gives you these skills and the advantage over other students. So Enactus students are actually 50 times more likely to be hired by our sponsors than the average graduate is, which is a really fantastic statistic and hopefully hits home as to why it's so important to be part of the Enactus network. We believe that at Enactus, there are 3 reasons that students like to join us. The first is because you get to make a difference to your local community with these projects. Also, you get to make friends with like-minded individuals. And then finally, the employability aspect. So Enactus working with 17 of our sponsors, which are actually some of the UK's top graduate employers, it really does set you apart from the average student. So even if you join for one of those reasons, you'll leave having had all 3. So hopefully that will convince you to join our Enactus network. And just as a reminder, here is the information to join us on the screen. So please head to enactusuk.org/join and we'll be able to connect you with your university team. But I know you're not here to listen to me from Enactus UK. You are here to listen to our experts from Asda. So without further ado, I will pass across to Lindsay and Katie and allow Katie to start screen sharing. But thank you. Perfect. Yep, I can see your screen. Oh, I think Lindsay, you're still on. There we go.
That's it. Thanks, Caroline, and thank you so much for the opportunity to come and speak to you all today. We always look forward to these events. My name's Lindsay Holland and I'm the Future Talent Manager here at Asda. And that means I look after youth outreach across Asda and all of our apprenticeship and graduate programmes. I'm also joined today by Katie Forley, who works in my team. And bear with me, I'm just having some... Sorry, bear with me 2 seconds. And oh, Katie, sorry, I can't see my, can you just bear with me 1 sec?
No, that's absolutely fine, Lindsay. Whilst you're sorting that out, just students, as a reminder, there is going to be an opportunity to ask Lindsay and Katie some questions about Asda and all of the things that you can get involved with. So please do use this opportunity. As and when you think of those questions, pop them in the chat so that we're ready to answer those a little bit later on. So making sure you're using them as soon as you think of them, pop them in the chat and we'll be able to answer those at the end. How are we getting on, Lindsay?
Thank you. Sorry, I've got everything back now. Sorry, it was whizzing around and I couldn't quite see my slides. So brilliant. So for the purpose of today's session, we just thought we'd use this as an opportunity to try and bring to life some of the many career opportunities available in retail, and to show you some of the reasons why we're also proud to work for Asda. So firstly, why Asda? To set the scene, a couple of years ago, we conducted a survey with around 2,000 young people aged 18 to 24 to try and understand how they rated the attractiveness of different industries and different employers. Now, food retail as an industry was hovering around the lower to middle end of that pack. And some of the areas the food retail sector scored particularly poorly in was around interesting job content, the use of latest technologies and giving back to society. This was a massive eye-opener for us. We didn't understand how anybody couldn't find retail interesting. We know that retail is absolutely renowned for being fast-paced, really challenging and constantly evolving to meet consumer demands. And even though people don't necessarily view their local supermarket as a hub of innovation, technology does in fact drive almost every single step of the retail experience. And as for giving back to society, part of our mission is to try and improve lives throughout the UK and to really be at the heart of our local communities. So we're trying to build long-term community resilience and to be there for people in times of crisis. So as we take you on a journey through Asda, those are some of the key areas we're going to be focusing on. Now, one of the challenges we come across regularly is that people think they know food retail because everyone's been into a supermarket, and I'm sure at some point most of you have been into one of our stores. I'd certainly hope you have. And I think some of the reasons retail isn't always viewed as interesting, as for example some tech companies or media companies or big financial consultants, is because people can't see beyond our shops. But beyond our all-important customer-facing roles on the shop floor, there are literally hundreds of teams offering loads and loads of different career paths at Asda, doing really interesting and fascinating work. And actually, we see ourselves as a tech company. We're also a fashion company. We're a finance business. We're an online business, as well as being a food, grocery, retail business. And so we've got a model that we use to try and bring this to life. And we call this the traders, the enablers, the movers and the sellers. So to try and bring to life some of the careers which sit behind these, our traders include teams of food scientists developing new products. We've got fashion designers, we've got buyers sourcing products from across the world and financing multi-million-pound deals. We've then got our category planners and our merchandisers who plan how to best land our products in stores so that our customers can count on getting the very best products at the best prices. We move on to the enablers. These are teams of specialists working across a number of different functions, everything from human resources, where Katie and I work, through to PR, marketing, strategy and technology, just to name a few of the teams who enable our business to operate every single day. The movers is something we use to describe our really complex supply chain. So that sees everything from teams using artificial intelligence and data modeling techniques, to some of our sites which rely on robots and automation, right through to teams who look after transport planning, and then to our army of delivery drivers. And then finally, the sellers, these are our really, really important customer facing roles in stores. And for any of you who could be interested in a store-based career, our store managers are literally leading teams of around 250 colleagues and have responsibility for multi-million-pound business every single day. So within each of those teams, there are a whole multitude of career opportunities available. And, we are a really, really big operation. So across Asda, we've got more than 145,000 dedicated colleagues, serving more than 18 million customers who shop in our stores every week. We play a vital role in our communities, and never more so than we've seen throughout the recent pandemic. And it's how we try and make life better for our customers through better insight, through better products, through better prices, that makes Asda a really, really compelling place to develop your career. So I'm hoping, if nothing else, we can certainly try and bring that to life for you today. But firstly, I just thought I'd say a little bit about our partnership with Enactus as well, because I'm conscious not all of you are members yet, but I really do hope you take this opportunity to learn a lot more about Enactus and some of the partners. So Asda has been a platinum sponsor of Enactus for more than 15 years. And I believe we were also one of 3 founding partners here in the UK. And in fact, we hosted the first ever Enactus national competition back in 2002 at Asda House in Leeds. And not only do we support the university programme, but we were also amongst the first companies to support the New Schools programme, which we get really, really excited about too. And in 2019, so just pre-pandemic, we also hosted 2 work experience weeks. So one was for schools and one was for universities, specifically for those Enactus students. And we designed an immersive week which followed the life cycle of a product to highlight the really vast and different range of career opportunities we have available in Asda. The work experience weeks enabled our students to experience all the different types of activities and projects they could get involved in if they worked for Asda, blended with a number of personal development, mock assessments and feedback. And the lucky students got to visit a number of our sites. We literally went on a bit of a school trip. We hired a coach, went to go and see some of our distribution centres. We got into our stores, absolutely brilliant. We also heard from senior leaders, got time with the CEO and our Chief Finance Officer. And a couple of the Enactus students impressed us so much that literally on the spot, we made unconditional offers for them to come and join our graduate programme. They're still with us. Ellie's now working in our corporate strategy team, developing our new corporate partnerships, which will land in stores. And Beth is working in communications at our George head office. So if any of you think you could be interested in that opportunity, then we are planning to hold another work experience week for Enactus university students around June, July of next year. So if you'd like to register interest, please do reach out to Caroline and the team at Enactus. The other really important part of our Enactus partnership is the individual topic competition. And for this year's individual topic competition, you heard it here first, we're going to be asking teams to support us in our new spaces and places strategy. So our aim really is to create safe, inclusive spaces for groups to meet in every one of our Asda communities. And so we'll be asking Enactus teams to conduct a local needs analysis and then come back to us with really innovative recommendations on how these spaces can be used to benefit local groups. And then just as all of you really are motivated to work on projects with Enactus to try and make the world a better place, at Asda, we believe that's our responsibility too. And so I just wanted to run through the 4 pillars which make up our own Creating Change for Better strategy. So you'll see on this slide, Better Lives. As part of that, our Fight Hunger, Create Change programme is a partnership with 2 leading charities where we've donated £20 million over the last 3 years to help tackle the hunger problem. And we've done this by investing in infrastructure, services and support. And our focus for going forward around Better Lives is going to shift towards removing hunger as a barrier to learning, which currently affects around 2 million school children each year. We also recognise our role in helping our customers make healthier lifestyle choices. So we're also taking steps such as cutting back the fat, salt and sugar, as well as all of the calorie content of our products. And we continue to support really vital research into breast cancer through our Tickle Pink campaign, which has seen us raise nearly £100 million during our 20-year partnership. Just absolutely incredible. And then better communities. So this is where we're really helping to build stronger local communities through the work of the Asda Foundation. So this is about supporting thousands of projects every year, helping local charities and community groups bring people together. Better planet. This is because our customers, we know, want us to do more to protect the planet so that it can be enjoyed by future generations. So that's why we've made a series of commitments, like making our own brand packaging 100% recyclable by 2025 and increasing how much recycled packaging we use. And then finally, better business. We know that whatever happens in our own business matters too. And we know that our customers trust us to do the right thing. So we're committed to acting with integrity in absolutely everything we do, from the way we treat suppliers to the way we source our products. And one aspect of better business is about creating a truly inclusive culture that enables all of our colleagues to bring their best and true selves to work every single day. We want to create an environment where all of our colleagues feel supported and able to reach their full potential, and where our customers and communities feel they can be themselves. And we know that's important because creating a truly inclusive environment not only makes Asda an even better place to work for our existing colleagues, but also supports how the business attracts future talent. If we've got an environment where everyone can thrive, it means we'll get better ideas, greater innovation, as well as higher levels of engagement from all of our colleagues. So we know it's simply the right thing to do. Now, last year, we held a month of inclusion where we released one video every day of colleagues from across the business sharing their own stories and explaining why inclusion is so important to them. This was such an incredibly powerful campaign. And if any of you would like access to those videos, then again, please do just reach out. And then just 2 days ago, we launched our Asda Census. So this is a survey being sent out to all of our Asda colleagues to help us understand more about our own colleagues, and most importantly, to know what we need to do differently to make our business more inclusive and welcoming to all. And now I'm just going to hand over to Katie, who's going to tell you a little bit more about some of our current Better Business initiatives.
Thank you, Lindsay. So I've now got the very fun job of showcasing some of the exciting things that we're working at. So I personally think that the jewel in the crown is our sustainability store. This was first opened last year, basically as a kind of increase, as a reaction to the increased awareness of climate change, but also, as Lindsay had mentioned, we are really, really passionate about kind of reducing plastic packaging, and this was a really good step forward for us. So yeah, our Middleton Sustainability Store, for any of you who are local to Leeds, Middleton is just south of Leeds, so I definitely kind of recommend checking it out. But what we've done really is over the last 12 months, we've used the store to kind of test and learn. So we're testing and learning which elements appeal to the customers the most. And we're now looking at kind of how they can be developed at scale and potentially rolled out more widely in the future. So very excitingly, many of the initiatives I'm about to talk about are very, very popular, probably unsurprisingly. So we're currently actually implementing them in some other stores in the UK. So we've got one in Glasgow that's just opened, but we're also doing one in Rugby, in Leicestershire, in Milton Keynes and in York. So if you are kind of local to any of those Asdas, I would recommend checking it out. So one of the most successful initiatives trialled, I'll kind of take you through some of these pictures, but it's been our huge refill stations. So you can kind of see them here on the right-hand side and then the bottom left as well. Basically, it's just where our customers can either bring along their own containers or buy a container in an Asda store and stock up on kind of household staples, but in a refillable format. Things such as tea, coffee, rice, pasta, washing powder are available. We originally launched it with 30 different products. So they were kind of ranging from household brands such as, Kellogg's, PG Tips, Radox and Persil. But following an absolutely huge take up in the first 6 months, earlier this summer, we actually added another 50 lines, which is absolutely amazing. And this is, again, in some further household brands such as Yorkshire Tea, which I think is essential in a Leeds-based store, but also for our Asda own brand products. In addition to this, this summer we also launched a refill initiative with Coca-Cola. So customers can basically purchase a 1 litre glass bottle of Coca-Cola, which is pre-filled. They can take it home with them, and then when they're finished, if they return it to the store, they can get 20p off their shopping, and then the bottle goes back to Coca-Cola, who will clean it and then reuse it. So it's just a really good example of actually how, we're working together with other huge organisations to help our customers make really sustainable choices when it comes to their shopping. In addition to the refill zones, we've also introduced 50 different fresh product lines, which are available loose and unpacked. So that's things such as fruit and veg. I know it used to always really frustrate me when you buy something like a banana, which has got skin on it, but it's wrapped in plastic. So that's just a really quick and easy win for us. So we're trying to remove plastic packaging on fruit and veg. But we're also trying to remove it on popular canned multi-packs, so things such as kind of beans and soups, and that's across brands such as Heinz and our Asda brands as well. Another really fab initiative, which I got really excited about when I went, was our recycling facilities, which might not sound very exciting, but it's absolutely amazing what they do there. So what they've done is they've set up a whole kind of recycling site outside, which is for items that are actually really hard to recycle in home collections. So these are things such as crisp packets, biscuit packets, plastic toys, cosmetic containers like toothpaste tubes. And we're partnering with local charities to see what we can do with these recycled items. So one thing that was really, really impressive, and I think, to me, this sounded exactly like something that an Enactus team would do, is we partnered with a local charity in Leeds where the lady has said, send me all of your recycled crisp packets that you're collecting. And she's using them to make blankets for the homeless in Leeds, and also to make dog beds. So it's just a different way of kind of using recycled packaging, something that usually might just go into waste, but to actually turn it into something really good and that's going to benefit the local community. We also, obviously at Asda, have George, which is our absolutely massive fashion line. And they're also making some absolutely huge leaps in terms of sustainability. So they've got kind of clothing lines that are made from recycled polyester. They're introducing coat hangerless denim, but they're also kind of building a lot of partnerships. And one of those is with Pre-Loved. So they're a vintage wholesaler who sell bespoke vintage clothing from well-known brands. So they do have quite a lot of pop-ups in our George sections of our supermarkets now, and it's really about promoting kind of reusing and recycling your clothes. So you're probably thinking this is all very exciting, but how much is this going to cost me? Because that's kind of what I thought of at first. But what we've thought when we're introducing these initiatives is we don't really want it to come at an extra cost for our customers. At Asda, as Lindsay mentioned, we're all about save money, live better. That's really kind of at the core of who we are. So what we've done is we've launched an initiative called Greener Asda Price. And that's basically recognising that sustainable shopping needs to be affordable, it needs to be accessible. And so we basically made a promise that any kind of loose and unwrapped products won't cost more than the wrapped equivalents. So for example, if you kind of got your refill container and you're going to get some kind of washing powder, it's not going to cost you any more. It will probably cost you less than if you just bought a kind of, a thing of Persil off the shelf that's wrapped in plastic. Basically just means that our customers aren't paying more for the greener options. I do have a video to bring this all to life. I will skip on to that. Caroline very kindly taught me how to get the sound on. So here we go. Here's our Middleton store. There we go. So definitely go check that out if you are local to Leeds, or if you are in Glasgow, Rugby, York, Milton Keynes, look out for those ones as well. So if we kind of move on now, similarly to our Middleton store being used as somewhere where we've kind of, trial sustainability initiatives, we also have a tech store. So that's somewhere where we test and learn from innovative solutions. And instead of kind of trialing lots of different things across different stores, what we do is bring everything to do with technology together in one place. And for us, that's our Stevenage tech store. So what we're doing there, it's really exciting, and it's just a bit of a glimpse into what the future could hold in store for retail. So we've got lots of exciting initiatives there, from kind of 3D holograms to electric shelf edges. And the tech that we're testing is really designed to make, customers' lives easier, colleagues' lives easier, and just to create a better shopping experience for everyone. So I've got some examples just on this slide, some pictures. So if we start at the top left, we've got a station for personalised chocolate cards. So if someone in your family or one of your friends is a chocoholic, what you can do is pop along to the store, write them a little message, and it gets printed on chocolate. We also have a station which makes wine recommendations for you. So if you pop in a wine that you like, it'll fire back some different suggestions for you. We've got a digital fragrance pod. So from here, you can browse a range of kind of over 300 different branded fragrances. It'll give you some recommendations again, and you can select them for kind of home delivery or collection. But then again, in George, we've got lots of different kind of innovations. So we've got something where you can pick up a piece of clothing, scan the barcode, and it will tell you if we have other sizes in stock, if you can't find yours on the floor, but it'll also let you read customer reviews onto george.com. And then really cool, it's the second on the left, the top left, we've got a mirror where you can scan an item of clothing and you can try it on virtually. So you don't even have to go to the changing rooms to try on clothes. So yeah, all really, really exciting stuff going on at our tech store in Stevenage. And it's just really to give you a bit of a taste of, what retail might look like in the future, but kind of implementing them in one place in our tech store and trialing them, we can see what actually works for our customers. Some things might be a bit bold, but we just want to see what works for our customers, and then we can kind of builds that out a little bit. So that's our sustainability and our tech store. And now I just want to kind of go on and talk a little bit about the future of Asda, because I've obviously, you know, spoken about what shopping might be like in the future. But yeah, the future of our company, because we're going through a huge time of change. As many of you will have seen, last November, it was confirmed that we've got new owners. And this is the Issa brothers and their partners at TDR Capital. So the Issa brothers founded the EG Group. It's actually the leading global convenience store and petrol retailer. And we actually, lots of people don't know this, but we actually had a relationship with the Issa brothers before they bought us over. So you might have seen that we've launched a new kind of convenience model called Asda on the Move, and we partnered with the EG Group to do this because these stores are actually at their petrol stations. So we've already got a bit of an ongoing relationship. But yeah, all very exciting for us. We were obviously owned by Walmart beforehand, and although they'll kind of retain an interest in our business, we've now got an absolutely huge separation project underway. It's said to be the largest tech project currently happening in Europe. People that we're working on, kind of third parties, are saying this is the biggest project they've ever worked on. But with this comes many opportunities. So it's such an exciting time to be part of Asda. However, kind of with all this change, predominantly our vision of the future does kind of remain the same, and we're still continuing to kind of be very committed to offering best prices, best quality and the right ranges for our customers. This being said, we are also looking at kind of new and exciting ways to grow, and this includes partnering with other brands and retailers to kind of complement our existing offer, but also to maximize the space that we have in store. I mean, as Lindsay said, we hope we've all been in an Asda, but you can probably imagine the size of our retail estate. And what we're doing is really taking the time to think about how we can maximize that space and get the best for our customers. It kind of goes without saying that the past 18 months or so has really accelerated how as a retailer we're able to respond to changes in customer shopping habits. You know, prime example being the increase in demand for online grocery, which was just absolutely huge. But a trend that we're also seeing is that our customers really want the convenience of being able to go into one shop and get everything that they want under one roof. And that's why we're really excited about the partnerships that we're developing. And this is really about enabling our customers to access additional products and services when they do their weekly shop with us. So as you can see from the examples on the slide, we're partnering with B&Q, Music Magpie, Accessorize and The Entertainer. We're also expanding existing partnerships that we've got with companies such as Claire's and Greg's, and have also launched a collaboration with Uber Eats. So that's basically where customers can get rapid delivery service to your doorstep in as little as 30 minutes. It's great, but it's also very dangerous if it's about, 9 p.m. on a Friday, you're settling down to watch a film and you realise you don't have ice cream, because you can just go on your phone and order it. But yeah, really great for our customers. Something you can also see from the pictures, so this is just on the right hand side, is our new vegan butcher and vegan aisle. So obviously with more households choosing to reduce their meat intake or to follow a plant-based diet, at Asda we actually saw an increase in online searches for vegan go up 175% in just 1 year, which is absolutely huge. And because of this, our vegan aisle was launched in September of last year. We were actually the first UK supermarket to dedicate 2 bays of our supermarket entirely to plant-based products, but we're also trialling a partnership with a vegan butcher called Velicious at our Watford store. And it's all really about kind of meeting the needs of our customers and allowing them to find, the products that they want to consume the most in a really cost-effective and easy way. I think that's me. I hope I've kind of shown you a little bit about the exciting things. You can obviously see from me speaking that it's really exciting for us. And now I will lead on to Lindsay to talk a little bit about some of the opportunities we have.
Thanks, Katie. Yes, so for those of you, if we have managed to convince you that food retail and Asda specifically is actually a really exciting place to come and work, For those of you who are interested in joining us, I just thought I'd share our vision for graduate opportunities going forwards. We are in the process of just revamping our approach, so we are going to be a little bit later to market than usual, but I would just ask that you bear with us. So going forward, we are going to have just one centrally managed graduate programme, and this is going to focus on the future skills which are most in demand across Asda right now, such as artificial intelligence, data science, data engineering, software engineering and automation. Some of the reasons for that you'll have just heard from Katie. You know, as we move away from Walmart, we need to find a way of standing up and operating on our own. So all of our systems and processes are currently going through a huge transformation process. So that's where we see greatest demand for graduate talent right now. And my goodness, could we offer you some amazing opportunities to develop. For those of you who don't fit into those categories, the great news is that we're actually moving towards a model of always on graduate recruitment across some of our core business areas. So buying, merchandising, supply chain, George and finance will be running agile campaigns throughout the year outside of the annualized STEM graduate recruitment program process. So this just means we can attract top level grad talent into our business on a much more constant basis. So we'll see assessment centres happening throughout the year, which really gives all of you far more opportunities than relying on just one annual intake. So really happy to take some further questions on that when we reach the end. But finally, I just wanted to share, you know, that should any of you choose to join us, whether on our graduate programme or into one of our direct entry roles, that we are really passionate about continuous learning, because we know that the need to reskill and upskill is just going to accelerate in the coming years. And so we've got programmes mapped to every single level of the organisation, which is all aimed at building leaders who can adapt, can embrace change, be more diverse, act more inclusively, and have the skills required to create and execute our strategy. So we've got a blend of in-house programmes providing different ways for colleagues to learn, be that on-demand digital learning, virtual classrooms, or more immersive learning experiences using gamification and virtual reality, for example. But we also provide a huge number of apprenticeships to our existing colleagues, everything from level 2 qualifications right through to MBAs. And actually all of the graduates who've joined us on the last couple of programmes are having the graduate programme accredited with relevant apprenticeships. So last year, our graduates all took part in a leadership and management qualification. This year, we're going to specialise slightly. So we'll see some of our graduates go on to level 7 in data, for example. But I think that's it. I just want to ensure that we've got enough time left for questions. So that's it for our slides, and yeah, we'll hand over to you now to see if there's anything we can try and answer for you in our last few moments.
Real, thank you. I think we've just got one that's just come through. Amber's really interested in the sustainability of supply chains, and she wanted to know if there would be an opportunity to work in that area in Asda, and if there's any schemes available to second year students currently.
We don't have an official second year programme, a placement programme as such, but a number of our business areas do reach out when they've got opportunities to take somebody on a 12-month contract, for example. So there isn't right now in Home Office, but if you were interested, I would strongly recommend, you know, share your CV, let us know what it is that you're looking for, because we do also have very close links with the sustainability team in George House, for example. And I know that there's often opportunities in that team. So, you know, we'd be more than happy to go away and ask the question. That's what I would say.
Great, well, thank you. And I'd just recommend if students are thinking of the same things, make sure you check the Asda Jobs website that Lindsay referenced, so you can work out which is available or what's interested in your personal scheme. I've just had another one that's come through to me, just asking how can I best, when I think this is regarding an application, how can I stand out with my application? if I were to join Asda?
So I'll be honest, Enactus can really help all of you stand out. So in terms of our recruitment process, we have a behavioural assessment. So I would recommend that you read up on the Being Asda qualities and everything that is really, really important to us as Asda colleagues. But then we do ask 3 short video interview questions, which asks a little bit about, suitability for the role and what could you bring. And I think some of the experiences you have through working with an organisation like Enactus are exactly what will help you stand out, both in a video interview process, but also in an assessment centre. If I think about leading projects, coming up with innovative ideas, working well as part of a team, being able to demonstrate results, all of those things are what would help you stand out versus someone who has not taken part in those types of activities or has limited work experience.
Definitely. And then somebody's just asked if they do have any queries about kind of the jobs, is there a standard email address that they can put that towards?
I'll pop that in the chat now.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I think another question that we get a lot from students is there anything that they can be doing now to help better their career for when they are in that position of starting to apply for jobs?
I think any kind of work experience you can get, again, always makes you stand out. I've already shared a little bit about the plans for our work experience programme, and I'd strongly recommend all of you apply for that when it becomes available. I would just be making sure that you're out there, you're looking, you're listening to companies now, and you're thinking about, what do businesses need, not just now, but also in the future. The other piece of advice we always give young people when they're joining Asda is, don't focus so much nowadays on having a very, very kind of linear career. People used to talk about career ladders, but actually the reality now is that people have very squiggly careers. There's actually a brilliant podcast called Squiggly Careers you could all take a look at. But I think it's about valuing all of the opportunities. It's saying yes. And it's recognizing that actually sometimes gaining greater breadth and taking some sideways moves can also help you progress far more quickly and more effectively in the long run. So I would just say it's not a race. You need to find career opportunities that really stand out for you. And think about squiggly careers versus just racing to the top.
Thank you. And I think one of the questions that we got right at the start was, what do you both enjoy the most about working for Asda? It's a big question.
So for me, I love working with people. You'll hear this a lot from people in Asda as well. I don't think any 2 days are the same. It is constantly changing. It's so fast paced. There's something very special about Asda's culture as well. I think people genuinely want you to succeed. If you have an idea, they'll be curious, they'll want to know more, and it's an organisation, I think, which brings people together. There's no real, yes, of course there's hierarchy, but actually we work very, very closely with senior leaders right across the business, and I think it's got something really special. But Katie, if you've got anything you can add,
No, I totally echo that. I think it's the level of opportunity. Obviously, kind of as Lindsay had said at the start, there's 145,000 colleagues here. But because of that, there's literally something for everyone. So from kind of a level 2 qualification right up to an MBA, you can get that funded for you if you kind of come along and show that you've got the right kind of aptitude and drive. But also the opportunity, I think, like you said, Lindsay, about the squiggly careers, because there's so many colleagues, there's so many opportunities to jump around, kind of lateral moves, to move up, to test out a lot of different areas. I know that our exec, when they come along and speak to our graduates, their pathways haven't always just been kind of straight up like this, and they really encourage kind of jumping around. But I think just with an organisation the size of Asda, it just comes with an enormous amount of opportunity. But I do think, like Lindsay had said, we're very unique in our culture. It's very fun. Everyone's just really friendly, and people aren't trying to catch you out or everything. It is, everyone always says the Asda family, and it sounds a bit kind of cringy, but it's true.
It's true. Yeah.
Well, no, I think there's some really good points, and I'm just looking through the chat now, and just a bit more of a practical question. I think Patricia's asked if she applies to ASDA, like how long does the whole process usually take from that application stage all the way to a role, like in terms of letting you know that you're successful or not?
Well, this is why we're trying to flip the model, to be honest. So in the past, we've had one annual graduate recruitment intake. We'd start advertising in October, and realistically, you wouldn't join until the following September. So apply in October, you go through a lengthy recruitment process, offers would be made March, April time. And that's great, but we're conscious that we've got vacancies all the time. We don't want to wait. So for the annualized STEM graduate programme, it would still follow that kind of typical model. However, for roles like, I've seen a couple of people mention supply chain in the chat, I think we're going to be moving to bi-monthly or quarterly assessment centres in that space. And you could always expect to hear and have a response within, you know, ideally 7 days. You should have an offer letter within 2 weeks. But for some of our other areas, we can probably see us having monthly assessment centres for buyers, you know, probably bi-monthly, quarterly in George. So there'll be regular hiring points throughout the year. And I would just recommend staying really, really close to all of the opportunities available on our website. You can also find out further details on the Future Talent pages, a little bit more about our programmes. But there is so much going on in this business. We certainly aren't suffering from a lack of opportunities. So please do think of us.
Brilliant. No, thank you very much. A bit of a different question, really, just to ask about how ASDA, as an organisation, was able to manage kind of supply chain during the pandemic, but even broader, kind of what ASDA did during the pandemic. I know Kerr has recently spoken on this, but just from your perspective, I know ASDA did a lot of work in that space last year.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start, and I'm not sure I've got all of the stats to hand either, but if it would help, I'll send over something to you, Caroline. But, you know, just from my own perspective, and Katie's, I think Katie had been in the business with us just 10 days, I think, before we went into that first lockdown. We were halfway through our graduate recruitment, and then literally we just stopped doing what we were doing. I pivoted in to try and help logistics, because all of a sudden our most vulnerable workers were all being sent home, both from stores and in depots. And we then just pivoted to help our teams ensure that we could just keep the operation running. And oh my goodness, did everybody pull together. It was something incredible. Like, it's like 26,000 colleagues in kind of 2-3 weeks that we managed to recruit.
Yeah. And in terms of online grocery, within kind of 6 months, we were where we were projected to be in 8 years.
Yeah.
In terms of the amount of deliveries we were able to get out to people, for those shielding, those who kind of didn't want to go into a supermarket, it just absolutely skyrocketed. But it shows you kind of what you can do when you put your mind to it. But I think it's also real kind of, you know, shows all that kind of stuff like teamwork and everyone just pulling together. But yeah, it's quite remarkable. But now it's kind of how we keep that up.
Yeah, and a number of our colleagues all ended up on the Queen's Honours list, didn't they? Just for the sheer amount of hard work that they put in. So I've definitely got something I can share, Caroline. I think that would be useful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, that would be wonderful. I'm really conscious of the time of this session running over. So I just wondered if we had any final thoughts before we kind of finished off, really.
No, I think, you know, we always really, really welcome applications from Enactus students. I've already said, you know, the opportunities the programme presents just gives you such a fantastic platform to stand out from other candidates. I would absolutely grab all the opportunities that come with Enactus with both hands. You know, make the most of your time at university. And yeah, as I've said, you know, do think of us that we're going through huge transformation at the moment. And with that just comes endless opportunities, really. And we'd love to have some of you on board.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you so much for the session. It's been really insightful into the culture of Asda. And I think even in that last question, talking about the kind of implications of the pandemic, just really shows how Asda does pull together, and how you can be part of something incredible if you are considering working with them. So hopefully we've convinced you all on this talk. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you're able to join us for a couple of our other sessions. But for now, I'll say